Have you ever felt like you're too broken to be used for something great? Too flawed? Too messy? You're not alone. In fact, you're in very good company. Let me tell you about a man named Moses. Not the polished leader we often picture, but the man behind the miracles, the man who struggled deeply, and the way God used every piece of his brokenness to write a story bigger than Moses could have ever imagined. This is his story. If you're enjoying this story, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring moments from the Bible. Moses didn't start in a wilderness, he started in a palace. Born into a time when Hebrew babies were being thrown into the Nile, Moses should have died before he could speak, but instead he was rescued, adopted by Pharaoh's daughter, and raised as royalty. He had wealth, he had education, he had power, but he also had a secret. He knew he didn't really belong there. He was Hebrew, and deep inside he carried that identity like a quiet ache. One day, that ache turned into action. He saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew slave, and Moses snapped. He killed the Egyptian. Just like that, the prince became a fugitive. He ran, not just from Pharaoh, but from himself, from his past, from whatever future he thought he had. Moses ran to the desert, to a place called Midian. No more gold-plated halls, no more royal robes, just sand, sheep, and silence. He became a shepherd, married, had kids, and for 40 years he disappeared. Just imagine that. 4 decades in the wilderness. Not lost, but waiting, wrestling with shame, carrying the weight of his past mistake like a scar no one could see. He probably thought, this is my life now. I missed my chance. I messed up too bad. But then, God showed up. One day while tending sheep, Moses saw something strange. A bush on fire, but not burning up. He walked closer, curious, and then he heard it. Moses, Moses! A voice from the fire. It was God. And God said, take off your sandals, you're standing on holy ground. Then God told him, I've heard the cries of my people in Egypt. I'm sending you to bring them out. Me? Who am I to do that? I'm not good with words. They won't believe me. Please, send someone else. But God didn't back down, because God wasn't looking for perfect. He was looking for willing. Moses returned to Egypt, older, humbler, and still unsure of himself. With his brother Aaron by his side, he walked straight into Pharaoh's palace and said the unthinkable. Let my people go. Pharaoh laughed, said no, and things got worse before they got better. But with every plague, water to blood, frogs, darkness, God showed his power. And through all the chaos, Moses found his voice. He wasn't just a stuttering runaway anymore. He was a leader, a mouthpiece for freedom. And after the final plague, when death touched every Egyptian home, Pharaoh finally let them go.
Why did you bring us out here to die?
But Moses stood tall. He raised his staff, and the sea split in two, walls of water on both sides, and dry land down the middle. The people walked through, and when Pharaoh's army followed, the waters collapsed. God had made a way where there was no way. But even after miracles, Moses still struggled. The people complained, they doubted, they disobeyed, and Moses, tired and frustrated, made mistakes of his own, big ones. He struck a rock in anger instead of trusting God's instructions. And because of that, he never stepped foot into the promised land. But don't miss this. Even though Moses didn't enter the land, he still led the people all the way there. He still fulfilled the calling. God still used him, not because he was perfect, but because he kept showing up, even broken, even afraid, even unsure. Moses' story isn't about a flawless hero. It's about a man who doubted, failed, ran away, and still became one of the greatest leaders in history. So if you've ever felt unqualified, too messy, too late, too broken, remember Moses. God doesn't wait for perfection. He works through weakness. He shapes greatness from broken pieces. Because in the hands of God, brokenness isn't the end. It's the beginning. If this story spoke to you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need a little reminder that God still calls the broken. And greatness often starts in the wilderness. This has been Moments of the Bible, where ancient truth meets everyday life, with heart and clarity. See you next time.